Last time on Flight of the Griffin.
You've been following them for better part of a half an hour. It is the same site of trees with a shiny silver and blue bark, withered and dying, holes drilled into them with sap leaking out of them, golden leaves that were once probably quite beautiful, strewn about the ground everywhere. You learn, yes, there's a chemical compound in the air that you are interpreting as sound. The XO, Commander Tapalu, is certainly interested in what you could achieve. Finding a way to communicate with these creatures would be a marvel, would be something to be commended for.
I can.
All right, got to lock onto your signal to beam aboard. Anyways,
So I'm thinking what we rigged up looks suspiciously like a Ghostbusters proton pack, except instead of shooting out nuclear energy, it's shooting out like chemicals in a spray cone.
So what is it that you're strapped to?
Theoretically, it is a chemical analyzer and chemical replicator tied to
I was just typing.
standard issue Starfleet Universal Translator. It should allow us to communicate with these creatures.
The other gardeners that have come up hoist Lieutenant Tahana into the seed pod. Now all of you watch as Lieutenant Tahana Setim, whom you know, says the following words with a voice not their own. You invade our ark and murder us, demons from the void, parasites all. And you see that one of these gardeners has stepped on something that previously was invisible, but now you can see is an insect. It's about 7 centimeters long, multiple legs like a centipede, and 4 arms like Goro. It has an arched exoskeleton and 2 long antennae that swoop almost all the way back to the end of its bodies, or to the end of its body. They have crescent-shaped eyes and a circular mouth with sharp teeth in it. The Universal Translator comes into life, and it reads out the words, "Help me."
And now, the conclusion.
So we start. It helps if I turn my own volume up. So we start this episode with the crew in the center of this internalized dome of electronic or negative ions surrounding all of you. You've just noticed that this creature that was previously unseen has now, pardon me, has now become visible, and all of the gardeners around you are going to town on stomping and killing all of them, as many as can be found. You are frozen for a little bit until the last one that is visible says that message, "Help me," that the Universal Translator picks up. And that is when you see there is one gardener turn and start to make its way toward this creature lying on the ground helpless, ready to raise its planty foot up and stomp it into the ground.
And simply drag it away.
The Universal Translator, is it translating from the gardeners, or is it translating from the weird psychedelic spores?
It's actually translating from the insect creature.
Oh boy.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah,
So
what's up?
I tried to grab it while jumping.
Hang on one second. Lieutenant Shee, what's up?
I got a hunch Frank and I have the same idea. I'm going to charge and tackle the gardener that's about to crush the insect.
Very good.
Okay, cool. So you do that, and so before Commander Strohm even has a moment to try to pull this creature away, you are going to make a melee attack against this. This will be daring plus security, opposed by the gardener's daring plus security as well.
Okay. Is Aikido a relevant focus?
Yes, I would allow that. Difficulty is going to be 1.
I'm going to burn a point of momentum to give myself an additional die.
Okie doke.
This is not exactly my strong suit, but I'm competent at it.
The daring plus security. Okay. We'll set the complication range to 1. Same thing. I'm not going to burn any. Not going to burn any threat or anything. Actually, I have 9.
Good roll.
Okay, so you're looking at you beat the target number by 2. I'm going to roll 3 dice for myself. And you beat me by 1. Cool. So, yeah, you're going to gain 2 momentum back for that. And what is it you would like to do? You're just trying to get this thing away, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just if I can. I mean, I guess since it's Aikido, probably what I would do I was rush in and throw it away from the insect, and then kind of take up a guard over it.
Okay. All right. Cool. So that happens. You rush in. This creature was getting ready to just bam and stomp this thing into a billion pieces. But Lieutenant Shee, you rush up and you just, with this fluid motion, you rush in, grab it by its foot, which it was going to be using to stomp this creature, and do an impressive like judo flip or aikido flip in this case, and just using its own momentum against it to hurl it away from this creature. It lands with a thud onto the ground. That is when you see a couple other gardeners look up and start to quote unquote notice you. In that moment, what is everybody else doing? Commander Strohm, I think you are going to pull this creature into your protection. Am I right?
Yeah. Inside the circle of our Federation stuff, because I hope that the Guardians won't attack it then. So.
Cool. Got it. So you bring it into the circle of friendship.
I know what I'm going to do, and it's not going to end well.
I love
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, with my command of 1, I'm going to think really hard at the creature in my head and tap out on the universal translator. I want to negotiate a peace between you two.
Okay.
I think I have figured out what's going on.
All right. So I'm not even going to make you roll for it. That just happens.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to do a roll, I'll give you a difficulty of 0, but you have 5 momentum anyway. So realistically, you're only going to net 1. But if you want to like maybe make an advantage, that could be doable.
All right. I have reasoned out. Maybe daring is more appropriate.
This is going to be presence. So this would be presence command.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not good, but it makes sense.
You've got a coin flip.
Yeah, I guess I will use a momentum for a.
So we'll pull a momentum. Okay.
All right, let's see what I get.
Okay, so you get 1. No complications, which is the important bit.
Actually, unfortunately,
because of your.
Yeah. Okay. No. Yes. Complication.
So a complication does happen.
But also, that is 2 successes.
Yes. Okay. So so that's 2 successes. So you're going to get 2 momentum back. If you'd like, you can spend those and just ignore the complication that just happened, or You can take those, max out on momentum, and
I think I'd like to take those two and create an advantage, actually.
Okay.
What
would you like to do?
Which is, I don't know. Basically, I want to create the advantage of these two warring people understand we want to negotiate a peace. Like, we are peace brokers.
Okay. So we're going to create an advantage for a negotiation, a potential negotiation that I'm just going to call "We Want Peace."
Yeah, that sounds good.
Got it. So just to let you know that the complication there is going to be a complication of protecting the enemy.
Yeah, no, that's basically what I figured.
Got it. Cool. So that's going to be a thing. What's everybody else doing?
Can I kind of walk over and start scanning this thing with a tricorder?
Absolutely.
I will help Lieutenant Shee back to her feet and kind of just keep an eye on the gardeners that, as you say, noticed us.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So you're going to move into a protective stance.
Yes.
Weapon out?
No.
Okay. So you walk up, big metal arm, and you get into a ass-kicking stance, ready to throw down on these plants in case anything happens.
Actually, this is Thoss. I don't have a metal arm.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I am, unfortunately,
your antennas are out and
out and pointed in the right direction.
I gotta look at the Discord because then I can see who's actually talking, and not the Roll20 where I cannot. That works. Cool. So Thoss, you are going to take a defensive position around Lieutenant Shee. You both stand up. So that just leaves the Master Chief Petty Officer, Jensen Esei. What are you doing with that metal arm?
Pretty sure I'm getting off the ground after I got my ass kicked. Because that's where we left off last time. So yeah, I guess I'm getting up and I'm wondering why are we protecting bugs that have been drilling holes in trees as if they're the good guys. But okay, I'm gonna follow my orders.
Okay. So you stand up. Do you draw a weapon?
No, not just yet.
Okay. So you're part of the friendship circle.
Yes.
That Commander Strohm has brought this creature into. Dr. Phlox, I think you wanted to do a tricorder scan.
Yeah.
Okay. This will be a reason plus medicine check. Xenobiology would apply here.
Okay.
The difficulty is going to be 2.
Okay.
I'm going to say that, I'm going to spend a point of threat to raise the difficulty up to 3.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to spend 2 because I think this is still a house rule, but I'm playing along with it.
But it's still only going to 3, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We have lots of momentum. Take that.
Yeah, and can I also have, what was it? Master Chief Petty Officer Esei, since you have a high medicine, if you could assist me with this, please.
Sure thing.
I would allow that.
How do I do that?
Okay, so this is going to be reason plus medicine check. So, Jensen, you're going to go into your character sheet, reason medicine, and you're only going to roll 1 die. Okay, so it looks like you have 1.
Okay, and then
if Dr. Phlox succeeds, you will add that 1 to his overall success total.
And then I'll go ahead and buy all 3 dice.
There was only 4 momentum left, so the maximum you could get is 2 dice.
And then give you 2 threat.
Okay. So we're gonna burn all of the momentum. And I shall take the 2 threat. All right. Wow. Okay.
Jesus.
So that's
good stuff.
2, 4, 6, 7 on a difficulty of 3. So you're going to get 4 momentum back.
That was worth it. Oh, yeah.
Totally worth it.
Yeah. This is how the system works. You spend momentum to get it. Got it. So your tricorder, you scan this creature. This is what you are able to find out. This is an insect-like creature. You can tell that, yes, it has been ingesting the sap from these trees. You can tell that their brains are altered in such a way, like you've seen this in cases of like opioid addiction. So you are able to piece together that these creatures are suffering from addiction to this tree sap and also withdrawal from it. You also can tell in their brain is a neurodegenerative disease that you have uncovered. These are creatures suffering from a horrible, fatal disease. That is what you learn base.
Okay. Is it do we already have a sample of the tree sap? Like have we along the way have we picked it up? Is it possible to
I think we have readings from it because I sent them back to the Griffin.
Okay.
I would allow that.
I don't think we currently have access to the Griffin's computers though because we're inside the dampening field.
You can still communicate with it. Communications might be a little strained, but the only thing you cannot do is beam out.
Okay, and is the what is it? The device we rigged up with the replicator, is that still is the replicator still functioning normally?
Yes.
Translator? Our translator should be because we made it shielded.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all functioning fine. And I will say that if you wanted to, you could spend momentum to obtain extra information if you so chose.
Yeah, let's spend 1 point to get a little bit more.
Okay. Got it. Cool. You can tell that the tree sap acts similar to an opioid. It is capable of slowing the progression of the disease. Hence the addiction to it. You can tell that without this tree sap, the creature in front of you and any like it will die.
And from the scan, do we know what kind of brain ailment this is?
Let me check. The scan does not give you much detail from where you are. You think that the Griffin's computers could probably help you with that. But yeah, unfortunately, you don't have access to. You can't beam back onto the ship this second. But yeah, if you were able to get this creature onto the Griffin, you could do some further study.
Okay.
So that's what you know.
Maybe we should need to negotiate that we might be able to get them onto our ship. So that would be one goal of our negotiation, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe try telling the the gardeners that if they lower their shields and allow us to take this creature out, we could find an alternative for them to stop them from eating eating the sap and destroying the ark.
Yeah, maybe replicating the chemical agent in the sap so that they don't need to use the trees here.
Yeah. So what you see is this creature in front of you is curled up. You know how certain insects, when they die, they curl up onto themselves? This creature is in a crescent shape, as it is halfway, as it is like starting to curl into itself. And the universal translator is picking up babble. This is you can tell now the depths to which the addiction has set in. And it communicates that it needs the sap. It needs it. It's a must like we will die without it. We must have it.
Boy. Are the gardeners still closing in?
The gardeners they were about to close in, but it seems like they have stopped. They are not advancing on you in a especially since you made that proclamation that you wish to negotiate. They are not advancing upon you anymore.
I am going to recommend, sir, I recommend we get some stasis units. See if we can put these creatures in stasis until we can find a way to figure everything out.
Who are you speaking that to? Commander Strohm?
Anybody? Oh, technically,
anybody?
The Vulcan.
The captain's there.
The XO.
Yeah,
or the
XO
XO, excuse me.
Yeah. Cool. And of course, we do need to get rid of these shields to do that.
We can walk them out to the perimeter.
It's not just to clarify. It's not that the place you are in is currently shielded, and it is not, and that's preventing transport. The whole geodesic dome, its shields went up.
Yeah, we cannot transport anything to or from here.
All right. I will go into my mindscape with the entity in there, and try to start explaining what's going on. I'll say, listen, I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I think those creatures may have started getting some substance for you, not realizing that you were living creatures because they needed it to survive. We can save them and prevent them from harming you, I believe, but we need to lower your defenses so we can properly treat them with supplies from our ship.
You speak this, and you speak it with your mind voice and also with your voice. And for a second, nothing happens. But then you feel another personality inside of you begin to creep up through the fog of your mind, like a bubble rising to the surface. And you hear and feel yourself say the words, "Approach and state your case." And with that, the gardeners part, and you can see there's a pathway that leads you to a wooded clearing with a very, very, very large tree in the center of it.
I'm going to tap on my universal translator. Just like, we're trying to help you.
Okay.
And then I'll approach the tree.
Cool. You send that out, and the chemicals disperse into the air, and you see that all of the gardeners around you tilt their heads as they react. It's like, so this does work. It does actually communicate with them.
So I'm thinking that the thing in my head is the essence of whatever these are. The natives of this ship, and the thing we're communicating with the sense, I think, are the insect. I'm not 100% sure yet.
Is that a question you wish to ask me as the game master?
I will tell that to the group.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I'm suggesting you're not going there alone. So should we all go or should we split up? I'm asking our EXO.
Tapalu thinks for a second and says, "Doctor, this creature in front of you, is it critical?" Dr. Phlox, who is currently muted.
It appears to be critical, yes.
Then I would suggest that Master Chief Esei, you remain here with Dr. Phlox and hold guard. If this creature is indeed critical, then we cannot take it, or we cannot leave it here. And to move it might cause problems. The rest of us shall. I'm sorry?
I said I'll make sure nothing happens to it.
Also to the doctor and to yourself as well. You are authorized to use force if necessary, but please refrain from phaser fire. So far, we appear to have made a good impression on these creatures. We don't want to upset any delicate balance. The rest of us should accompany Lieutenant Tahana to wherever it is they are leading us.
Let's get moving.
Great. Cool. So I'm actually going to pause for 1 second because I'm hearing something outside my door. I want to make sure everything's okay. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Pardon me. I'm back. Sorry about that.
Sure.
So, you walk forward and you are led to what looks to be the remains of a crumbling temple or a ruin or some other important building. It is a mess of trees, all growing around this area, vibrant. Like, this is a part of the forest that could be said to be in bloom. And in the center of this temple area, there is a massive tree. It is 116 meters tall. So for the American audiences, that would be 380 feet tall.
Say meters about a yard.
Yeah, pretty much. It has a trunk that measures about 12 meters in diameter. And actually, It doesn't look exactly like this, but picture this as sort of same kind of idea. Yeah, it is a massive tree that is situated right at the center, not only of this temple, but you think of the dome itself. As you approach it, you think there's something at the base of this tree. As you get closer, you can see the bark is arranged to resemble a face. Not like it's carved the way that it would be in this photo that I'm using as a reference here, but the bark looks like it has a face in it.
Like it grew a face.
Yes, not a giant face, but a smaller face, about the size of a regular humanoid. Its bark around its bark around its face splays out as if it is wavy hair. And one of the branches coming out of its base reaches out like an arm with its hands grasping at nothing. Is there anything anybody likes? Is there anything anybody would want to do here?
So it does look humanoid, not some other type of face. It's recognizable, humanish in its outlook.
2 eyes, nose, mouth, in the right configuration.
And it's holding out its hand?
It looks like it's holding out its hand as if it was reaching out for something.
All right.
Last time we found a grave, I think. There was a kind of humanoid buried in there. Would that be a similar shape?
I think it's trying to do. I think it's an interface. It's interfacing with us the only way it knows how.
Well,
if you
I guess I'm gonna walk up and handshake it or whatever.
Cool. You approach it, and when you reach out your hand to put your hand into its hand, for lack of a better word, you notice, Lieutenant Tahana, that before your hand makes contact, your body freezes. It does not move. And you look and you can see the eyes of this tree open and blink as if it was being roused from a deep sleep. All of you surrounding this tree can hear that the music has changed. It is actually, speaking of, I should be playing music, but oh well. You can hear that the music has become more single note and almost like oboe or cello like somebody was drawing out a really long note on a cello. And Tahana, you feel your head involuntarily crick to one side as you hear the music. And you hear a voice come from Tahana. As Tahana then turns and addresses all of you. And the voice says, creatures from beyond the stars. What say you of our plight? And it waits.
Am I giving my body back, or am I still out of it?
Yes, you are allowed to speak with your normal voice. Basically, just to make everything easy. You can still move and you can still do things. I'll let you know if an action is prohibited. But whenever I speak with the tree's voice, it's coming out of you. Otherwise, you are able to be your own person.
I will say, I think I know what's happening here. Some other creatures came and started hurting you. Is this correct?
We know not what happened. All we can feel is the death of our brothers. Or he would not gender them, but he would be the death of our kind. We feel its life drain from us.
I think another creature before us came. They were dying, and they took from you without knowing that you were living. If you lower your defenses around this forest, we can use our kind's technology to try and heal you and them, and make sure that they do not return to this place.
Okay. You have said what you needed to have said. We are going to do a social, a persuasion task, basically.
Okay.
And just to let you know, base difficulty on this task is of convincing this tree that you are not at fault. The base difficulty is 5. If the base difficulty ever becomes 6, then it's impossible. This is the point where I'm just going to pull the curtain back and let you know what's happening. And also, Tahana, since you are the one talking, you are going to be the one making this roll. If anybody else wants to step in and either assist with that or do something that might make them the lead in this scene, now is the time to do it.
I'd like to assist. This is a matter of survival. That's my point of expertise. Oh yeah.
Yes, it absolutely is. You, based on everything that you know, you're confident that you are dealing with not just one dying species, but 2.
Yeah. And they are probably aware that not only they are suffering, the others are suffering too, and we are suffering as well, as long as they are keeping us here.
Everybody's suffering.
The solution would be to actually let us help, stop what's hindering us, and let us help both of them. That will be the thing. If they want to survive, then they must do that.
Okay. So
I'm not in there with them, but am I able to be involved in this?
It depends. What would you like to do?
I'm not sure, but I can certainly help. One of my focuses is negotiation, and I have high command. So I feel like I can be helpful in this situation.
Is high command one of your talents? Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, just a suggestion for Phlox. You could maybe provide via the comm, you could explain to the tree that the creatures that are hurting it, you may have the ability to determine an alternative sustenance for it and provide it so that the creatures wouldn't have to attack the trees anymore. And that's just a thought off the top of my head.
Yeah, we can do that.
That totally works. Is high command one of your talents?
My command discipline is 4.
Oh, you have a high command. Sorry.
Yeah. I've got negotiation as a focus, which I feel like that's what this is.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. If you are willing to spend 2 momentum, then I'll let you create an advantage, which is you sort of email the tricorder data over to Tahana. And Tahana, having seen it, the consciousness that's in Tahana's head will also see it.
Oh yeah, as an advantage, it would drop the difficulty by 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then yeah, let's spend the momentum.
Cool. Got it. Cool. So that is an advantage, which I'm going to write down. Tricorder data.
And we have another one going on. This is the we want peace advantage.
Yep.
I think.
Cool. So now here's where I'm going to lay out everything that has happened. So, are we going to say that I will say that Commander Strohm, since you are the commanding officer or the one best suited for negotiation, you could have point on this, and Tahana can then assist you.
If Tahana wants to do
Wishes to, yes, that is totally up to Tahana.
I do not have good command, so yeah, that sounds good to me.
Cool. So that's who's going to be making this role. So Commander Strohm, you will be lead. Lieutenant Tahana, you will be assisting. Base difficulty is 5.
Is there any?
Sorry.
Is there any reason that the rest of us, couldn't or wouldn't assist? I mean, I don't want to game the system, but
I mean,
it's a really high difficulty, so I'm kind of obliged to ask.
Well, I'm also like before you go into that, because I do want to give you the opportunity to do stuff if you wish to, because this, like, you are all on the hook. So it would make sense that your characters would be like, I'm gonna pull everything I have out of the bag to do this. But first, I want to at least let you know sort of what you are facing. So, base difficulty is 5. Because you saved the seedling last episode, difficulty goes down to 4. Because you did not enter the burial mound and desecrate whatever was inside, the difficulty goes down to 3. Because you spared the life of this creature, the difficulty goes back up to 4. Because you offered to get these creatures and come up with these other creatures and potentially help them so they don't have to subsist off of the tree's sap, difficulty goes down by a 1. That's the we want peace. And the tricorder advantage drops the difficulty down to 2. So you are going to be looking at a difficulty 2 presence command roll.
All right. I do have diplomacy as.
I managed 8. Look at that.
Wow, nice. Yeah. So presence. So your diplomacy would apply here.
Okay, and I'd like to use the last momentum for a 3rd die. So let's
you can have it.
How that turns out, and let's hope our negotiation goes well.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, well enough.
Okay. You're going to get that 1 momentum back.
Am I not rolling on this as well?
I'm going to say that you gave the advantage that dropped the difficulty down 1.
Okay.
Cool.
We got 1 momentum out of that.
Yep.
And I think Tahana assisted me, not to point that too much out because I want him to lead, but still, I think there's another point of momentum.
I think so, yeah, because you have that thing whenever you help somebody that's of a higher rank. Is that just for computers or engineering stuff, or is that any time you offer aid?
The duty, yeah, it's anytime I offer aid.
Okay, so you get another one.
Anytime I aid a superior officer.
Which is everybody here except for the Master Chief.
Except for the Master Chief.
Yeah. Cool. So you are net 1 on the momentum. Very good. I will let you know, you all did as well as you could possibly do with that. You were faced with a very tough situation. This could have very easily been something that you just could not do. Even with all of the evidence, the tree just wouldn't listen to you. But you did well, and you got the tree onto your side. So the music changes again. And instead of these low, sort of oboe-esque sounds, it becomes lighter, like a violin being fingerpicked. And it's quiet for an extended period of time. And out of Tahana, the voice. I have told my children that you are not the cause of our sorrows. Indeed, you may yet be a cause for celebration if your deeds are equal to your lofty promises. Our long and difficult journey is near an end. I have located the island promised us in the Great Cycle. We have found our new home at last. Soon our repairs will be complete, and we shall bury our roots deep into new soil. But our time grows short, and the distance remains vast. We humbly ask your aid in completing our journey.
We shall. Could we make contact to the Griffin? How about the shield situation?
We may reduce our power if you request.
Very good.
And
that's what we need.
With that, you hear beep, 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 beep. Commander Strohm, as the shields are back down, I don't know what's going on here, but we have transporters back if we need them.
Oh, we do need them. So
we also need several stasis units rigged up as soon as possible.
Copy that. We will get right on that, and we'll have them beamed directly to you as soon as we can.
I'd say coordinate with the doctor about the stasis units and coordinate with the science staff about the replication of the tree sap, the data you should have already on the Griffin. And then, well, what's next, Commander Padu? How should we proceed?
Well, they asked for our aid. We need to know what they need done and where they are going.
Yeah,
it seems that this tree is on our side. We are now capable of inquiring to it without fear for our safety.
Yeah, I'm quite curious about where they want to go as soon as their repairs are complete, because that could cause additional trouble if there is already someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and cool. Yeah, so the shields go down, and Dr. Phlox, you get a communique. Dr. Phlox, we've heard that you need a stasis unit beamed to you. Can you offer more information?
We have these tiny little bugs that are only only a few inches long. We're going to need to save a bunch of these and stick them in there so we can figure out how to save them before they die.
Doctor, did you say bugs?
That I did.
Okay. You think you recognize the voice that is talking to you? This is someone who suffers from a bit of an insectophobia.
If you can't handle it, you can sit this one out. Just grab me someone else to replace you.
Oh, no, that's fine. Just make sure they don't get onto the bridge, okay? Otherwise, I might scream.
I will do my best.
Okay. We'll have a stasis unit beam to you as soon as we can. Over. Pew! And the communique cuts off. A few minutes pass, and you are actually seeing that Dr. Phlox and also Jensar, you are looking around and you see these creatures. Like I said last time, you are seeing them pop in and out of existence as they become visible and then a split second later become invisible. They're almost like mirages or ghosts that you think your eyes are playing tricks onto you. This one in front of you, being so weak, it is not. It does not have that issue. It is perfectly visible to you. It's hard to count how many of these are still available. Take this off.
You could use the ship sensors now to make the scan about that.
Can we also use the replicator? Make something like a butterfly net, and use that to try and catch up some of them and stick them in the stasis unit.
Cool. So yeah, if you wanted to try to, because you have one sample here. If you wanted to try to grab others, that is a thing you could do.
Just like one more that's in better condition.
Okay. So you could almost like, again, speaking of Ghostbusters, you could try to like see if you could zap one right as it becomes available, or right when it becomes visible, just and get it right into the stasis unit. Okay. So in doing so, Dr. Phlox, this is, if you wanted to do that, this would probably be, I'd say, a control engineering check to attempt to grab one of these creatures out of the air.
Okay.
Cool. I'd put the difficulty on this as 2.
Let's spend a momentum.
Okay.
And can I have Esei assist me with this? Just like swinging a net around with.
I mean, we have phasers. We can set them to stun, sir. But if we want to get attack, I mean, I'll happily help you with a net.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you, Jensar how to live. So if you want to try to zap one of these out of the air, I would allow it.
I'd like to point out the EXO did say no phasers.
That is true.
True.
The EXO did say. I mean, but then again, the EXO isn't here now. Is she?
What Mom doesn't know won't hurt her.
What do you need me to assist with? I'm sorry, I heard it was control and something else.
It was catching one of these
catching bugs.
Yeah, that's in better health than this one, just in case we lose this one.
If
okay.
I'll say that if you wanted to try to use sort of if you wanted to try to use a bug net, that would be control engineering. If you wanted to try to phaser one out, that would be control plus security. I'd probably set that at a higher difficulty, just because of it. It would be very difficult. It's like trying to shoot a penny out of the air as it's being flung at supersonic speed.
I do like a challenge. I'll do the engineering.
Okay.
It's just a 1 die.
Yes, it is the 1 die. And Dr. Phlox got one already. I'm going to set the difficulty on this at 3 for you. I'd say
3. I thought you said it was 2.
It's going to be 2 for the engineering check.
Yeah, that's what we're.
Oh, then
that's what we're doing.
Never mind. Never mind.
And there's still one momentum. So for the main roll, you could use that.
I think.
I already did. I used 1 for a 3rd die.
Oh,
If you'd like to give me threat, I wouldn't say
no.
I
Does my xenobiology count here?
Wait. I'm sorry.
This is sort of important. So I apologize. I was struggling to try to find the description of the talent that I have. Can I use collaboration and spend 1 momentum to boost their engineering scores from 2 to 5?
You're not like at least from what I understood, you were not physically there. If you wanted to make your way back, because you had a bit of time while you're waiting for the stasis units to get there. If you wanted to run back, I would allow that.
Yeah, if you open up my character sheet and the first tab, bio and info, if you scroll down, I cut and pasted all my talents there, so you can see collaboration engineering and see what I'm talking about.
Yep. Let me just find your character sheet. And let me see. Collaboration engineering. You choose the engineering discipline. Whenever an ally attempts a task using that discipline, you spend 1 momentum to allow them to use your score for that discipline and one of your focuses.
Right. So if that's an option, I'd like to do that to try to help them.
Okay. So the way I'm going to play that is, yes, it will allow you to do that. It will cost you the last momentum that you have. It will only apply to Dr. Phlox's role, just so that way we don't have to take back Jensen's role.
Right.
And then, so you will be doing that, and we'll come up with if any complications happen from you running back and forth that way.
Do you have any? Does he have any focuses that would apply?
Let me see.
I'm assuming xenobiology doesn't here.
Yeah, xenobiology is not going to help you here, especially like this is something that is way off the beaten path. Impulse. Yeah, unfortunately, none of Lieutenant Shee's focuses apply, but the engineering of 5 definitely does.
Okay.
So for this roll, manually update your engineering score to 5.
There we go.
Okay, so you're going to get 2 momentum back. Heal myself 1. Great. So yeah, you're able to almost, like, 1 pops into existence, and yeah, like a sharpshooter, you just boom, and you're right there, and you just grab it, and it freezes in midair, allowing you to almost to walk towards it while it's literally frozen in like mid-flight. You're able to walk all of the way around it and then just secure it into the stasis chamber. When you grab the other one, it is you now have a stasis chamber with 2 of these creatures. And you also notice that the gardeners around you are not making any other attempts to stop you. And the sound of the buzzing that was around you has subsided a bit.
Could maybe the science staff on the Griffin could assist in determining how many of those bug creatures are around here. Maybe using these ship sensors. Now that we have two specimen to compare the data, so they might have it easier to find how many are there actually blinking in and out of existence here.
Yeah, you can ask the science team to get on that.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Cool.
So you did a great job already, but we need something more.
So the B team the auxiliary crew is working on. Now that you have a scan of this creature's biology, you might be able to figure out how many more of them are there, and they are working on that. So, Dr. Phlox, I'm assuming you're going to be heading back to the ship.
Yeah.
Is anybody willing to follow?
Well, I was told to watch after him, so I'll go with him.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, you can beam back onto the ship. Anybody else?
Well, I've got a question.
Yes.
So a little while back, we talked about trying to find out where the ship was headed and how they were trying to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking that might be up my alley if I can strike up a conversation with one of the trees.
Sure.
Yeah, good idea.
Otherwise, I think I'm a fifth wheel here. So.
You can ask.
It's a very good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Do that.
All right. So, well, there's one tree in particular that we've been communicating with, right? So, I think I'll try to approach that one and strike up that conversation.
Great. So what do you want to ask it?
I'll just ask. Well, I think we should probably start out with asking them if they know where they are, because they may have no idea where they are. You know, establish a point of reference.
The tree will answer that. We know not where we are, but we know where we are going.
Okay. Well, let's go with that then. Can they? I've got a tricorder with me. Can I use it to try to figure out what their destination is? I mean, how would they describe it to me?
Cool. This will be. Let's see. Where is it? Pardon me. Yeah. So I will allow that. This will be a control. This will be reason plus con to see if you can figure it out.
Okay. Now I have a focus in astronavigation. Will that help?
Yes, it will.
Okay. And what's the difficulty?
Set the difficulty on it. You are working with a tricorder. So I'm going to set the difficulty to 3.
Okay. Anybody mind if I use a momentum?
Please do.
All right.
Okay. Spend a momentum.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You nail it.
All right. So where are these guys headed?
Cool. So you can tell that the ship is the Ark is currently moving at sublight speeds. It is currently moving now. Not very fast though. The Griffin is able to basically you haven't moved enough for the Griffin to really have to move around. And then you can tell that the course of the ship, or the course of the arc, is headed toward a planet in this sector called Albali Prime. There is a brief write-up that you're able to pull off of the ship's computer. There was a scan done of that planet 10 years or so ago, before the Dominion War, by the USS Midway. And it is a Class M planet. It is capable of sustaining life, and it is known that there is a humanoid pre-warp civilization currently inhabiting that planet.
Well, that complicates things.
So yeah, that's a bit of a thing.
All right. Well, I'm gonna relay that information to the XO. Obviously, there's gonna have to be a conversation about this. After I do that, can I try to talk to the tree to find out about their propulsion system, to find out if they've always been traveling at this speed, or if they were expecting to be going faster or anything like that?
Yeah. You can ask. The tree will give you an answer that your engineer, or that your technical brain, or your sort of pilot brain, it's sort of like, it'd be like asking somebody how they got their like car to go so fast, and the answer was magic. The tree does not give you a satisfactory answer for something that you would deem to be, oh yeah, like this is clearly how this works. You get something like, the astral ocean has many currents, and one could only find the proper flow.
It gives you the Mr. Miyagi answer.
Yeah. Well, because I'd love to try to be able to figure out where they're from, but it sounds like that's not happening.
Yeah. You do know, like, you have some information. If actually, I will say, you have all of the information in front of you to make an educated guess.
So we know what direction they're traveling. We know what speed they're going now, and we know that the crypt we found had something in it was 10,000 years old.
Yes.
So can we use that to extrapolate a course and an origin?
Absolutely. Give me a reason plus con roll, or a reason plus engineering roll, whichever you would prefer. Difficulty is going to be 1. If you have astro navigation or anything similar as a focus, that will apply.
Okay. Right on the nose.
Nice. Cool. So yeah, based on the information that you have available to you, you know that this vessel came from beyond the Milky Way galaxy. It would explain a lot. One of the issues, or one of the things you found, is that the craft has sustained damage. So passing through the galactic barrier probably is what caused that kind of damage. And you think after that, the ship has been coasting ever since. Based on what you've heard, you think, you don't know how, but you think that this vessel might be warp capable if given enough power. Because everything that you've been able to learn points their origin at a planetoid in the large Mangielic Cloud, which is a dwarf galaxy 160,000 light years away from the Milky Way galaxy.
Well, I'm very interested to learn more about their propulsion system, and just how they fly this thing. So all right, so I already told the XO about the issue with the planet they're headed to. But now I'm
Yeah.
wondering, Lieutenant Shee, are you busy right now?
I was about to beam up to back to the Griffin.
All right. Well, I was just wondering if these things would allow us to, it might be helpful to investigate their propulsion and navigation systems just to learn how they got as far as they have so far. But
so, what I can do is, if you take a tricorder and send me the telemetry while I'm up on the Griffin, I can walk you through the process. And sort of out of game mechanically, I could do that again as a collaboration. I could burn the one momentum, and then you function. You get the same engineering score and the same focuses that I do.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to do it that way, you can do the engineering, and I can walk you through it while I'm on the Griffin doing my own thing.
And maybe the ship could assist you in that task plan too.
Perhaps.
Because you have access to the ship's computers.
Cool.
Okay.
So at this point, Commander Tapalu is going to step in, and she will say that, and she's actually, when one of you turn around, you notice that Commander Tapalu actually has a leaf. There's holding one of the leaves from this big tree in her hand. She picked it up off of the forest floor. She just studies it and says, "Fascinating. This requires further consultation. Commander Strohm, if you can stay here to assist for the time being, I'm going to follow Dr. Phlox and Lieutenant Shee back up to the Griffin. We are going to have a senior staff meeting in 300 hours.
Should we keep Lieutenant Tahana around here for translation purposes? I don't know what might happen if we remove him from this tree arc here.
Lieutenant Tahana,
Yeah.
how are you currently feeling?
It's odd, but it lets me be me until it needs to talk, and then it just kind of takes over.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, I don't know, slips up from my subconscious.
Perhaps a bit of empirical data is what distance may, or how distance might alter that property. I'm going to order you back onto the ship. Also, it might be prudent to have Dr. Phlox or one of the medical examiners, one of the medical staff examine you.
I'm going to let the thing inside me know that I'm going to be leaving their area to go back to my area so we can work on saving everybody.
I hope you are as good as your word, outsider. The fate of me and my children rely upon it.
Okay.
Now go. Great.
So who's staying on the planet at the moment then?
I think it's you. Actually, because if Tahana's leaving, that would mean Thos is staying behind to do some engineering work. To be aided by Lieutenant Shee. So, Commander Strohm, if you wanted to oversee that, you could do that. Otherwise, it's Thos all on his lonesome.
No, I'm here to keep him safe. Let's keep it that way.
Great. So,
yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
Great. So, Commander Strohm, Lieutenant Thos, you are staying behind, awaiting further instructions from the Griffin. Dr. Phlox, Master Chief Petty Officer Esei, Lieutenant Shee, and Lieutenant Tahana Setum, you are all beaming back to the Griffin. So,
correct.
You all gather round in a near approximation. You watch Dr. Phlox walk up with a stasis cube with two of these creatures inside of it. And you hear over your comm badges, beep, beep, beep. All right, Lant, looks like we got 4 to beam up. 4, 6, 4. One of those, I think that we will make do. All right, hang on. As the blue glow takes over your vision, and when the curtain pulls back, you all find yourselves standing on the transporter pad of the USS Griffin. From there, Commander Tapalu says, Dr. Phlox, the science staff is at your disposal if it is needed. Lieutenant Shee, make your way down to engineering and work on whatever repairs might be necessary for that vessel. I am going to make my way to the captain. We are going to have a all senior staff meeting as soon as we possibly can. He must be informed about the situation.
All right.
And
where do you guys need me?
You actually, Tahana, if you think you can assist Lieutenant Shee, you might be needed there. If you can't provide any assistance with getting more power to the Ark, you will probably, if you can't do that, you will likely be ordered to the med bay.
I think
well, I'll see what I can do.
I think there's a computer task going on in determining the number and whereabouts of the remaining other bugs.
True. Yes, you could also assist with that.
Actually, as operations officer, so you know how everybody has if you're in charge of the if you're chief medical officer, you get the advantage that you're in charge of the medical staff. I don't get one of those because there's not an operations staff. Instead, whenever I scan things with the ship's sensors or with the tricorder, I automatically get one extra piece of information.
Oh, true.
So I think, if you wanted me to scan for those creatures, that would probably be what I can do.
Cool. So, we break, and everybody goes their separate ways. I want to start this with Dr. Phlox. Are you going into medbay or are you going into science?
Medbay.
Medbay. Okay, so you walk in and your medical staff is at attention, ready to go. When you walk inside, you place the stasis chamber onto one of the medical exam tables. Of course, a containment field comes down over it, and this is what you will be facing. This is going to be a timed and gated challenge for you, and you're going to have many, many, many steps, because not only do you have to find what's wrong, you also have to synthesize a treatment for it, and also administer it. And you're going to have to do that first for the patients you have in front of you to cure their addiction to the sap. That's step one. Then, if you wish to go further, you can attempt to cure their disease.
Okay.
And to let you know, these creatures, as soon as you scan them, you can tell that their bodies are degenerating at a rapid rate. You think that the specimens you have in front of you will die in less than a day. You have 20 hours to save them.